So one thing you might have noticed is that we've forgotten to connect up these windows here. We've just kind of deleted them. So I'm just going to bring that back in. If we go into the glass fracture here, and I'm just going to set this to manual again. So up here, we're just deleting those two pieces. If I press spacebar and H, press auto update again, and we've got those. So I'm just going to grab a split, and I'm just going to put it here, and then just copy these values like that. Okay, and then if I do invert section, that gives me the ones that don't get broken. Okay, and then just drop a null for those. So let's call this split non-frac, and then let's do out non-frac like that. Okay, and then I could just copy this, and then the way to bring it in, if we go into press escape, set that to manual again, and then go into our body fracture here. Okay, and then here, because we're deforming the non-fracture pieces, see the rigid pieces, we could just merge it in with that, right? So I'm just going to drop an object merge in there, paste this value in there. Let me leave this on manual and turn off the visualization on these. There we go. Where were we? In the body, in the fracture there. Drop a merge. Then that should be merged together. Let's see. Just put the auto update back on. There we go. And now we got the glass panes in there as well, all merged together. So if we go back here and into the body wheel post sim, I think here, should see them all together. There we go. So that's working fine. Now we got the glass on there and the broken glass here. Another thing I want to look at here as well. Okay, if we dive in here, so if I come here, I want to take a look at the motion blur, right? So if we turn on the vector trails there, you can see we've got no velocity, and also if we just visualize the information, we can see there's no velocity attribute on that. Okay, so I'm just going to drop a trail and press P, get my parameters back, and I'm going to set this to compute velocity and leave it on backwards different. However, on this side, okay, I'm going to do compute velocity, but change this to a forward difference. So if you remember this, what this does is calculate the velocity based on the difference between two frames, and this will be based on the current frame and the frame after it. And the reason I'm doing this is because before frame 77 we don't have any information, right? So if we calculate it with a backward difference from frame 77 to 76, there's no velocity, so we'll have like a gap and there'll be one frame without any motion blur. However, on this one we have information, you know, in both directions, so it doesn't matter. We'll just leave it on the default, which is backward difference. And also I'm just going to do that on the glass. I'll do that in a moment. But also here I'm going to drop an attribute delete. Let me I'll just name these as well and turn this off. I'll just put V there, and then here we're going to be deleting the, if we bring this in, I'll get rid of this as well, we don't need it here. We're going to be deleting the shop material attributes. Okay, basically this is something, it's kind of a fault on our part, I suppose, a bit, but you know, something that can come up. So we've got the shop material path, which is information for the materials here. And I wanted to keep that attribute because we used it to, you know, separate the windows and so forth. But for the final materials, we're going to be using this attribute. So there's a very similar bit of information. If we come into the geometry spreadsheet, you can see there we've got the shop material path and this shop final. You can see they're quite similar, but not exactly the same. So we're using the shop context for that, where the materials are. You can see they're similar sometimes, but not exactly the same. Okay, so we basically want to delete this one. Okay, and then we need that name to be the same. So I'm gonna drop an attribute rename, I think it is. Yeah. Okay, and then maybe I could just copy that name from here. Okay, so from shop final, I think it was, oops, without a capital F. I'll double check in a moment. Maybe not, we got an error. Maybe because we're on points. Get rid of that. Primitives. Let me just double check. Shop final without capital, yeah. So shop final to shop material path. Okay, so the new attribute called shop material path. So you know, this will automatically set these materials to these corresponding primitives. Okay, whereas when I bypass both of these, it would have been these, which we don't want to use. Okay, we want to use these, which are in our shop context here. Okay, well, they will be. I don't have them in there, but in the scene that we provide you, they'll be in there. Okay, I'll paste them in now. Maybe I could do that right now, actually. Okay, I have the scene that we will provide you open here, so I'm just going to copy them in case you want to do the same. So I'm literally copying from the shop context of the other scene and come in here, and I'm just going to paste them in. There we go. So we've got all these materials ready to go on our car. So that's perfect. Let's not bypass these. Drop a null and just call this out. And there we go. Oh, sorry, one more thing before we go. The glass, I'm going to dive in here. So with the I'm going to do the same thing with the trail here with the velocity. I'm going to do a forward difference, okay? Because just like the other piece with the glass, before frame 77 we don't have the information there. And then maybe drop a null at the bottom for to be nice and organized. Out. Just out is fine there. Great.